You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Right now, rescue workers searching for this National Guardsman who disappeared after flash floods swept through Maryland.
And this morning, a manhunt is underway after police say a car was stolen. What we know about the investigation so far. And
Starbucks will close thousands of stores just for the day. The reason might surprise you. Those stories plus your first alert forecast next on Good Morning Suncoast. 5 o'clock Tuesday, I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Welcome back to Ray Collins.
Thank you. Good to be back.
And let's check in for the weather with John Scalzi. How is it looking today?
Well,
Actually, we're going to wait for just a moment. My bad. We're moving ahead with something else. We begin this morning with breaking news. Police are investigating an overnight police chase.
Marla Spence joins us now live from the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Marla, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Manatee County Sheriff deputies and Sarasota police are continuing to work that police chase this morning. We're told it happened sometime after 2 o'clock this morning. Now, Sarasota Police Department did confirm with us that that police chase started off in Manatee County and made its way into the city of Sarasota. There's no word yet on how many suspects are involved with that police chase, but we are being told at least one person is in custody this morning. We're also told a K-9 with Sarasota PD is also assisting in that search for those suspects, but we are not too sure how many are involved this morning. There's no word on what exactly led to that chase. We will keep you updated with the latest once we find out more information on this police chase. Reporting live in Manatee County, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you so much, Marla, for that heads up this morning.
And now for the Tuesday forecast. Here he is, folks, meteorologist John Scalzi.
So Alberto's now a depression, a subtropical depression, and it continues to lift northward. It's kind of its influence on our weather beginning to decrease just a little bit. Now what we're going to see is this deep tropical moisture that's been over Cuba, providing them with just tons of rainfall, kind of lifting a little bit further to the north and bringing us again a very moist atmosphere and a chance today at some showers and thunderstorms around. So we continue to watch pretty quiet conditions here locally currently, but this deep tropical moisture continues to lift northward. That's what that kind of turquoise color is, and around an area of high pressure which will eventually be expanding and providing us with a little less rainfall chance as we head into the weekend. But for today, you have a chance during the morning commute of a scattered shower or two, but it's the trip home this evening where your rain chances will be much higher. 75 degrees Sarasota, Bradenton, the same, Venice 76, 78, Longboat Key, and the planner today calls for later on about a 60% chance of rain. Complete forecast in a minute.
All right, John, talk to you again soon. Now it's time for First Alert Traffic. There's the scene in Manatee County. Not much to speak of so far. Let's go farther south now to the northern half of Sarasota County. There's actually a lane blocked already at Fruitville Road in the northbound area, I-75. Be aware of that if you head out soon. We'll track that throughout the morning. And then our South County maps showing nothing much to speak of. A little blip there, 41 northbound as you travel between Venice and Nokomis. 503 right now. Now, we do have reports this morning of Sarasota police involved in an active shooting investigation. We saw plenty of lights around our TV station, in fact, at Orange and 20th. In fact, the police told our photographer to stay out of the area until they find this shooter near 20th and Orange and Newtown. So we'll continue to track this breaking news and have it right here on ABC 7. Stephanie?
All right, thanks, Ray. Well, this morning, residents of Ellicott City, Maryland, will be allowed to finally return home or to what's left of their homes after what's been called a, quote, once-in-a-thousand-year storm. This as the remnants of Tropical Storm Alberto continue to wreak havoc in the south. ABC's Candace Gibson has the latest.
This morning, our first look at the devastation in Ellicott City, Maryland. Building after building destroyed. These two cars upended. Sidewalks torn apart. Roads washed away. More than 8 inches of rain falling in just 3 hours, transforming Main Street into a raging river. 300 people were rescued, but this morning a search continues for Eddie Herman. He was visiting a Mexican restaurant when he fell into the floodwaters while trying to help a woman searching for her cat. The National Guardsman's best friend, Joseph Lopez, was watching as it all unfolded.
He took a couple of steps in and it just swept him away.
It's been called a 1,000-year storm, but this is the second one in 2 years. And local officials say this was even worse than 2016. ABC's David Curley on the scene.
The debris is actually here. This is how high the water actually got to. But look over the side where the creek's running now. Here's one car, a tree, two other cars, a dumpster, a 55-gallon drum. That's how powerful this water was.
Farther south, another flash flooding threat. The remnants of Tropical Storm Alberto is dumping heavy rains after making landfall on the Florida Panhandle. Its outer band spawning a tornado outside Port St. Lucie and what's being called a freak accident, tragedy striking a local TV news crew. News anchor Mike McCormick and photojournalist Aaron Smeltzer were covering Alberto when a tree uprooted from the rain-soaked ground fell onto their SUV. Both McCormick and Smeltzer were killed. Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
And look at this time-lapse video of subtropical storm Alberto making landfall in the Florida Panhandle on Memorial Day. The governors of Florida, Mississippi, and Alabama declared states of emergency ahead of the storm. Alberto made landfall as a tropical storm with winds of 65 miles per hour.
Well, one man is in custody and the other is on the run this morning after an armed robbery. Now, it all took place Sunday night at home on 60th Avenue West in Bradenton. Now, deputies found the suspect, 20-year-old Trenton Brown, in the front yard with a gunshot wound to the leg. They later learned that Brown and another man allegedly robbed the victim at gunpoint. Now, deputies say that Brown fired at the victim and he shot back, hitting him in the thigh. A neighbor heard 5 gunshots that night and ran over to help.
And what I did was I got my belt and wrapped it around his thigh, and he was screaming, but, you know, you had to do the right thing.
Now, Brown is charged with armed robbery and aggravated assault.
A search is on this morning for car burglars in Lakewood Ranch. Now, the burglaries happened overnight at 3 homes on Water Lily Way. There's a map for you right there. Deputies say the burglars opened unlocked car doors and took cash. Deputies remind people to always lock your cars and your doors, for that matter, as well.
Well, we are just days away from the start of hurricane season, and another vulnerable spot has been revealed. Residents in Old Myakka say the dike near the 4500 block of Hidden River Road has been eroding ever since Hurricane Irma hit back in September. Now, of course, that dike is there to keep homes in the area from ending up underwater. But people who live there say about 5,000 feet out of the 8,000-foot dike has already eroded and is now in danger of failing. Now, this is the same area where 33 homes were damaged from flooding back in 2003 during a major rain event.
Oh, it's awful. It's been awful since September, but now you can imagine with it getting closer and closer to being a reality, we can hardly function.
It's really scary. I mean, you have life and safety issues from people that their homes are on ground level, that if it happens in the middle of the night, it's going to be a matter of minutes before this place is underwater, and it could kill somebody.
The Hidden River Homeowners Association are the ones maintaining the dike. They're the ones responsible, but they could not be reached for a comment.
Plans to fix the Venice Fishing Pier on hold for now while the city handles a downtown road project. Hurricane Irma damaged the pier last September. The city made some minor repairs, but they're going to hold off on larger plans to fix the deck and the railings. Some nearby businesses, like Sharky's on the pier, are disappointed. They want the repair work done now before the start of the next tourist season.
If it does take a little bit longer than expected, I'm sure we'll find a way to roll with it. Really, the city's idea of getting it done as quick as possible is really what's going to be best, not only for the city, but for us.
City Council will decide if the project on the pier should begin now or later this year.
Well, your favorite venti macchiato will have to wait today. Over 8,000 Starbucks will be closed all across the country today for a company-wide diversity training. Now, this comes after 2 black men were arrested in a Philadelphia store for using the bathroom back in April. Now, at the time, the store manager called police because the men were in the store without placing an order. Now, the CEO apologized to both of the men, and today the coffee giant will train over 175,000 employees to better identify and prevent racial bias.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, the oldest survivor of the attack on Pearl Harbor visited the nation's capital for Memorial Day. We'll tell you about a phone call from his wife back in 1941 that may have saved his life.
And coming up a little later in the hour, take a look at this dramatic video. This is out of China. This was an event that knocked power out for thousands. We've got the story behind this big weather event. But first, back here at home, there's some kill away a volcano lava that is still spewing on that big island of Hawaii out there this morning. This is a live look at it that is still going on. Lots of health concerns, lots of life and property concerns still going on the big island. Let's talk about things back here at home on the Suncoast, John Scalzi.
So we're looking at a chance at a scattered shower around this morning, a small chance, but later on this afternoon, I think a much better chance of even some thunderstorm activity. So your drive time commute features pretty quiet conditions to go to work, but on the way home from work, watch for those thunderstorms that will be around. Some of them could produce some fairly heavy rainfall. Temperatures will be in the low 80s, and all the airport hubs serving Sarasota, Bradenton International are running on time, according to the FAA. Complete forecast in a minute.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're looking at what is now a tropical depression, subtropical depression, Alberto. It is moving through Alabama, kind of falling apart. 30-mile-an-hour winds right now. Its wind field expanded yesterday as it moved onshore. And over the course of the next couple of days, we'll be watching it lift northward as it basically just is absorbed by another frontal boundary approaching. It will, however, be a big rainmaker over the next couple of days, and there's the potential for some pretty heavy rain. Now, our rains that we get today, not directly related to it, but more directly related to the fact that our atmosphere is just going to be so moist because of tropical moisture lifting northward. That will bring us a decent chance of afternoon thunderstorms and potentially some 1-inch rainfalls across the region. As we head into the next 3 or 4 days, I think we're going to watch these rain showers through parts of the Plain States, Heartland, and into especially into parts of the Deep South, kind of increasing to maybe as much as 5 inches. So there are going to be some flooding rains through parts of the Deep South, no doubt. Tide and radar quiet right now. Morning commute should be A-OK. Do have a big, bright, beautiful full moon out there and a little bit of cloud cover, but not much in the way of any kind of rainfall around. There's some scattered showers out in the Gulf, but not a whole lot of activity yet. However, as we head into the rest of the day, this moisture lifting northward will trigger showers, and there are still some pretty ongoing heavy rains in parts of Cuba, parts of the Keys, heading up toward Miami. If you're traveling today to Miami, you are definitely going to get wet. There will be kind of consistent cloudy conditions, on and off showers, periods of some heavier rainfall down there. All of this lifting northward promises us good chances of rain. Cloud cover, we've got some. We've also got some breaks in the cloud. We're going to see some sunshine again today. And that sunshine is just really going to help to stabilize our atmosphere and give us better chances as we head into the afternoon of more rain showers around. Today's rain chance coming in at about 60%, whereas yesterday we had about a 30% chance of rain. The difference today is this area of low pressure, Alberto, lifting northward, is going to allow for more of this moisture to drift northward. This is in mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. Turquoise color, the higher moisture content air. And high pressure back out in the Atlantic will also help funnel that moisture right over the peninsula. Now, eventually, the high pressure ridge out there will expand and bring us some drier weather for the weekend. But for today, expect to see more rain. 75, the air temperature, dew point value coming in at 94%. Southeast wind is a little bit lighter today. Yesterday at this hour, we had a 20-mile-per-hour wind, and we had gusts yesterday up to tropical storm force, so some significant winds around yesterday. Well, today, not so much. Southeast wind at about 8. We'll watch a rip current advisory still in effect through today. There's a potential still for the wave action to create those rip currents, but the waves will be settling down just a little bit. 20% chance of rain shower this morning, increasing to 60% by afternoon. And then as we head into 7 p.m., our rain chances start to taper down a little bit, but there'll still be some good storms around. South wind at about 15 today will bring you a moderate chop. Look for 3 to 5 foot seas. And the forecast calls for a low tide at 6:37 this morning, a high tide at 12:13, and another low tide at 8:39. Forecast for today calls for 60% chance of rainfall, a daytime high of about 85, 60% chance tomorrow, 84, and then over the next several days we'll start to trend down rain chances till we get to the weekend when it's about a 30% chance. All right, I guess that's it for me. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside. Your first check of the traffic out there this morning. Starting off in Manatee County, those roads are looking pretty decent so far this morning. A little bit of a slowdown right there on 64 and the area that kind of goes by 301. Other than that, not too much in Manatee County. In Sarasota County, let's take a look at those roads. We do see some slowdowns. We did have one hot spot to tell you about. I-75 northbound, there's a lane blocked at exit 210, which of course is Fruitville Road. So again, if you are heading northbound on I-75 this morning, there's a lane blocked right there at exit 210, which is the Fruitville exit. Heading a little bit farther south in the area, not too much to see on any of those. If your commute is south on 75 or 41, it'll be a smooth one so far this morning. That is your first alert traffic. Well, subtropical storm Alberto is being now blamed for 2 deaths in North Carolina. Minutes after they'd finished an interview with first responders about the storm, 2 journalists died yesterday when a large tree fell on the station SUV they were driving. Now, one was a photojournalist. The other was an anchor that graduated from St. Petersburg High School, according to the Tampa Bay Times. DeKel Smith has her story.
Another tragedy hitting the Highway 176 community in Polk County.
We've had 3 fatalities since the 18th of May.
Tryon Fire Chief Jeffrey Tennant says crews were called to the 3000 block of 176 around 2:30 this afternoon.
And we were dispatched to a tree down on a motor vehicle with people inside the motor vehicle.
When they got there, he says they worked to get the tree off the SUV.
Don't know precisely, but it was 3 feet or bigger in diameter.
He says both people died on scene. WYFF news anchor and reporter Mike McCormick and photojournalist Aaron Smeltzer. Highway Patrol says both were driving south on 176 when the tree fell.
It's hard to tell. I know there's a tree fell. I'm sure with the instability of the mountain up there and everything else we've had going on here and all that debris and stuff up there, it's probably very good potential it was due to the rain and the instability of the mountain.
Anyone trying to use 176 is going to be running into these signs because the road has been shut down from Tryon all the way down to Ozone Drive in Saluda.
Just on the lower end with what happened earlier and all this rain we've got coming in, we don't feel safe enough to let anybody else up through there.
Polk County emergency officials say there are problems in other areas too.
We've got crews constantly patrolling the entire county.
He says 102 people planned on following the voluntary evacuation, and after the accident claiming 2 lives, 10 more people said they're leaving too.
Very sad story there. Former President George H.W. Bush spent Memorial Day in a Kenny-Bunkport area hospital. That didn't stop the 41st president from honoring those who gave their lives for America. Bush, or one of his assistants more likely, tweeted regrets for missing the parade near his vacation home in Maine. He also thanked patriots and Gold Star families for their sacrifice and honor.
Well, the oldest survivor of the attack on Pearl Harbor visited the nation's capital for Memorial Day events yesterday. Ray Chavez is 106 years old. At the time, he was a quartermaster stationed in Pearl Harbor in the morning of the Japanese attack on Hawaii in 1941. He says he was assigned to a minesweeper that detected a Japanese submarine in nearby restricted waters. Now, that was on the morning of December 7th, the day of the attack. Chavez also says he didn't know the attacks were taking place that morning until his wife called.
After her pleading with me to get up and see, I finally broke down and went up, and sure enough, she was right. I was wrong. And I saw all the ships on fire.
Now, after surviving that attack, Chavez served on a transport ship that brought soldiers to several island battles throughout the Pacific. All right, still to come on Good Morning Suncoast, a warning this morning on internet routers. What you need to know to keep your information safe. We'll have that coming up for you in today's Tech Bites.
And next half hour, the threat in Hawaii continues this morning. How fast is the lava actually moving? Here's a shot outside our window in the Rosemary District, 5:21 right now, and you're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
It is 5:24 and caught on camera. Incredible footage out of northeastern China. Officials there confirmed that a tornado, this one, touched down, ripped out trees, damaged homes, knocked out power to more than 20,000 people in the area, and injured at least 4 people. Switching gears, the FBI is sending out a warning this morning about the use of internet routers.
Here are today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bite, a warning about a Russia-linked malware attack.
The FBI is urging Americans to reboot their home computer routers. The malware can steal users' personal information, and in addition to the reboot, experts say you should download any updates for your device. Street performers are turning to technology to accept donations by credit card.
The City of London is giving street performers a special card reader, which is set to a fixed amount. It allows people walking by to donate that amount with their credit cards.
Fancy. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos is outlining his plan to help colonize the moon.
Okay, so while discussing his spaceflight company, Bezos predicted a settlement on the moon will happen within the next 100 years. He says companies will eventually move heavy industry off Earth so they can reap the benefits of the 24/7 solar power available on the lunar surface.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Carfax.com.
Okay, it's time to pick a used car.
I really don't want to get ripped off.
Carfax can help. Search millions of used cars and find a great deal at Carfax.com.
Yeah, show me the Carfax.
Only Carfax gives you the most accurate price based on a car's history.
Wow, look at all the great deals.
Oh, you're welcome.
Show me the Carfax.
Start your used car search and get free Carfax reports at Carfax.com.
Add the Activia 2-week probiotic challenge to your healthy routine and see how Activia yogurt, with its billions of live and active probiotics, may help support your digestive health so you can take on your day. Text for a coupon and start the Activia probiotic challenge today.
Seresto, Seresto, Seresto. Whatever your dog brings home to you, it shouldn't be fleas and ticks. Seresto gives your dog 8 continuous months of flea and tick protection in an easy-to-use, non-greasy collar. 8 months. Seresto, Seresto, Seresto.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
ABC 7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Breaking overnight, one man is back home nearly 2 years after a trip to meet the woman he loved turned into being imprisoned in a Venezuelan jail.
And also breaking news in this area. One man is in custody after a police chase around Newtown. We'll have a live update for you on the Suncoast.
And looking ahead to June, net neutrality is back. We're going to tell you those changes and what you need to know and how it could impact your internet usage. We have those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast. And good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. It is 5:30. I'm Stephanie Webb.
And I'm Ray Collins. We start this half hour again with some breaking news.
That's right. Police are investigating an overnight police chase.
Marla Spence is live now from the Manatee County Sheriff's Office with the latest. Marla?
Good morning, guys. It's been a busy early morning for Manatee County Sheriff deputies and Sarasota Police as they've been working on that police chase that started as early as 2 o'clock this morning. Now, information is very limited at the moment, but Sarasota Police do confirm that that police chase started off in Manatee County and made its way into the city of Sarasota. Now, there is no word yet on how many suspects are involved, but we are being told at least one person is in custody this morning. We're also told that a K-9 with Sarasota PD is also involved in this case and working on finding those suspects who we don't know how many are involved at the time. So far, there's no word yet on what started this chase, but we will keep you updated with the latest once we find out more information this morning. Reporting live in Manatee County, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thanks, Marla. She will be on scene and we'll keep you updated throughout the morning.
All right, John Scholes, he is on scene right now with more on a subtropical depression.
Subtropical depression, correct. Still has some organization to it, and it is still producing some fairly gusty winds around the Montgomery, Alabama area, but it is in the process of decay. In about a day or two, it'll be nothing more than just a mass of rain showers with no organization whatsoever as it's absorbed by the upper level winds. Around our area, we have tropical moisture lifting northward. That promises us good chances of rainfall today. In fact, the rain chance probably at about 60%. Plus, we've got a mix of clear skies and cloud out there. Pretty nice look at the big, bright, full moon out there with those clouds passing by. Makes it look kind of nice. Not much in the way of a rainfall chance during the morning commute. I think we're okay there. But look at that turquoise color. That is moisture in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. And while we did have some drier air around for the last day or two, we're now going to see that be replaced by this flow of air around an area of high pressure and a trough to our west. That'll bring us that good chance of rainfall probably for the next couple of days. The radar right now looking pretty quiet, but that will change later. 75 Sarasota, Bradenton 74, Longboat Key 78, Venice 77. And the day planner for you this morning calls for a 9 a.m. temperature of about 77 with a 20% chance of rain. 12 p.m. temperature of about 82 with a 40% chance of rain. It'll be a warmer day today with a 60% chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon, some of them producing some fairly heavy rain. Back to you.
All right, John, talk to you again soon. Now, time to check first alert traffic. There's the scene in Manatee County, some buildup there you'll see on either side of the interstate now, out there at State Road 70, both eastbound and westbound traffic. Let's go farther south now and check the situation in the upper half of Sarasota County. Still a lane blocked at exit 210, that's Fruitville Road, northbound on I-75. Be aware of that. Also a little issue there at Bee Ridge as you first get away from 41. And then checking our final maps to the south, we'll find out that that's all clear right now at 533. We're also tracking some news right now out of Newtown. Police say a gunman is on the run. Police are on the scene around Orange and 20th Street. Officials say there were shots fired at a bronze-colored BMW, and they are now looking for the person who fired the gun. They're warning people, including us, to stay out of that area. Our photographer has had to stay back. Fortunately, in all this so far, no injuries have been reported. Our top story now, a man who spent 2 years in Venezuela is now back home in the States this morning. ABC's Stephanie Ramos shows us Joshua Holt's emotional return.
Joshua Holt and his wife are back home in Utah after being imprisoned in a Venezuelan jail for almost 2 years. Holt, his wife Tamara, and his stepdaughter arrived at the Salt Lake City airport overnight to a joyous crowd holding signs with messages like, "We never gave up."
We're grateful to be here. We're grateful to finally be around for our families.
Holt's emotional grandmother draping this American flag over his shoulders while the crowd sang the Star-Spangled Banner. This was a day Holt's parents feared would never happen.
Now I have my family all together.
The 26-year-old Mormon missionary was imprisoned in June of 2016, shortly after marrying a Venezuelan woman he met online. As they waited for her U.S. visa, they were charged with dealing weapons and plotting to undermine the government, which they say is not true. After months of negotiations between the U.S. and Venezuelan government through diplomatic channels, the Holts were freed on Saturday and flew to Washington, D.C. to meet President Trump.
Almost 2 years, Josh, and, amazing that you were able to take it. You've gone through a lot, more than most people could endure.
Holt's imprisonment received a lot of attention from U.S. senators, including Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah and Senator Bob Corker, who made a surprise visit to Venezuela last week and secured Holt's release. In Washington, Stephanie Ramos, ABC News.
Well, it is one of the biggest mysteries in aviation history. The 4-year search for Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 officially comes to an end today. The plane carrying 239 people disappeared back in 2014 while flying from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Now, a U.S. company had picked up the search earlier this year using deep-sea sonars to scour the bottom of the oceans, but Malaysian authorities say it will not be extended any further. Happening today, Sheriff Knight will host a news conference in Sarasota regarding the results of Operation Intercept. Now, this initiative is to protect Sarasota County kids from online predators. Now, that conference will take place at 11 o'clock this morning. Now, you can stream it live on our site, mysuncoast.com, on our Facebook page, or also on our mobile app.
Look at these two pictures tweeted by the U.S. Geological Service. Lava in Hawaii creeping along a street. It's moving at 13 feet per hour, and blue flames in the lava are raising new fears of explosions.
Looking ahead to Friday, the Boys and Girls Club will hold a groundbreaking ceremony for a brand new club. It's going to be taking place around 10 o'clock in the morning. And the address of the current DeSoto Club, 5231 34th Street in Bradenton, is where the new club will be built.
Still ahead, net neutrality back in the headlines, the effect this will have on your use of the internet. But first, a peek outside at Atlanta, Georgia. Looks a little overcast right there, the capital of the Peach State.
All right, and speaking of that weather, how is our day shaping up there, John Scalzi?
Yeah, so it doesn't look too terribly bad for us. If you are headed to the beach today, it'll be a better beach day today than it was yesterday. Up until about 3 o'clock, when showers and thunderstorms will start to form. You could get a passing shower before that. But all our area waterways sampled this week show no red tide in the water, so that's good news there. As far as the sunset forecast goes, well, I give it 3 beach balls out of 4. There'll be a little bit of cloud cover around. There'll be a few dying thunderstorms, mostly inland, but there could be some nearer the coast, and a south wind coming in at about 15. Complete forecast in a minute.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So Alberto has weakened. It's no longer a subtropical storm. It's now a subtropical depression. And probably in about 96 hours from now, it'll be not much more than a glob of moisture. But it is currently still producing some 30-mile-an-hour winds around Montgomery and some fairly heavy rainfall as well. As it lifts northward into the more mountainous regions of northern Alabama, it could produce some flash flooding, and certainly there are some issues with that. As it lifts northward, we'll watch it kind of move off to the northwest and eventually to a more northerly direction. The rain showers will spread eventually up towards Chicago, covering a large portion of the United States north to south. As it lifts northward, it'll wring out its rainfall and, as I mentioned, produce perhaps as much as 5-inch rainfalls. For us, we get some thunderstorm activity today under plentiful amounts of tropical moisture lifting northward. So today's rain chance a little bit better than it was yesterday. Winds will be dying down today, but we still have rip current issues because that wave action will take a little while to subside after the winds decrease. So we'll look for potentials of maybe inch rainfalls in some locations, a little bit more perhaps, but in most of our viewing area, we're going to get less than a half an inch again today. Now, as we head into the next couple of days, the rainfall totals will start to mount, and parts of Kentucky and Tennessee will start to see some rainfall, maybe as much as 5 inches. And of course, in that more mountainous regions, that could spell a problem for them. Right now, our radar is not too active. It's quiet. In fact, we do have a chance at maybe a passing bit of sprinkles or maybe some light rain during the morning hours. But by afternoon, we have a much better chance as that tropical moisture continues to lift northward. Right now, that moisture is producing some heavy rainfall continuing over parts of Cuba and South Florida. They got some really decent 8-inch rainfalls and better 18 inches in parts of Cuba. So some very, very heavy rainfall there. Now, all of that lifting northward promises us a couple of days of some good rainfall chances before we start to work some drier air in. Mix of sun and clouds around today. You'll start off the morning as dawn breaks with some sunshine poking through the clouds and think to yourself, oh, it's going to be beautiful out there today. But that sunshine is just going to help to destabilize our atmosphere and bring us better chances of afternoon thunderstorms. We have a big ridge of high pressure setting up in the Atlantic. We, of course, have this trough of low pressure and our subtropical depression kind of falling apart in Alabama right now. The combination of those two things gives us an upper level flow that just funnels up that moisture. across the peninsula. Now, eventually, what we will see will be this high-pressure ridge kind of building in and expanding and reducing our rain chances in time for the weekend. 75, our current air temperature. We have a southeast wind coming in about 8. That southeast wind is a little lighter than it was 24 hours ago, and we had some wind speeds pretty close to the 20 mark at this hour. So we'll look for that sun-cloud mix. We'll look for afternoon thunderstorms today. About 79 degrees by 9 a.m. with maybe a 20% chance at a passing sprinkle or a light shower. But as we head into the noontime hour, our rain chance goes up to about 40% with a temperature of 82. Top it out about 85 with a 60% chance of rain at 3 p.m. And then as we head into 7 p.m., about a 50% chance of rainfall. This is the Futurecast, our RPM computer model. And of course, the heaviest of the rain is going to be falling in the deep south with Alberto. But still, this tropical moisture lifting northward hour by hour through the day continues to bring heavy rains to parts of Miami, the Florida Keys. And then as we head into our afternoon, we start to build some thunderstorms in inland areas. And those thunderstorms will tend to work their way back to the coast and expand in coverage. And then as we head into the overnight, things kind of settle down just a little bit. We still get this plume of moisture lifting northward, and that brings us another good chance of rainfall again tomorrow until that high pressure ridge builds in, and you'll see that reflected in the extended range. South wind coming in at about 15 knots today. Today's high topping out around 85 degrees. We'll have a 60% chance of rain today and tomorrow, I think. Then as we head into the next several days, we'll start to work some drier air in. And by the time we get to the weekend, I think we'll be looking at our kind of average, typical summer-like weather. We'll maybe start with a few more showers around in the morning hours as our winds shift more southwest. And then those showers get pushed back into the inland sections, leaving most of our Saturday and Sunday daytime hours kind of sunny and nice, but humid. Back to you.
Thanks, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic. Let's start off in Manatee County. Those roads right there are looking pretty smooth so far. Not too much to see in Manatee County. Even the bridges are running pretty smooth at this point. Let's move on to Sarasota County. Those roads aren't looking too bad either. We do have one spot to tell you about. I-75 in the northbound lane. The lane right there is blocked at exit 210, which is the Fruitville Road exit. Again, if you're heading northbound on 75, the northbound lane is blocked at exit 210, which is Fruitville Road. So you want to give yourself a few extra minutes to navigate that one this morning. And then heading farther south into Manatee, or into farther south in Sarasota County, those roads are looking pretty decent as well. If you're traveling south on 75 or 41, you have a pretty easy commute this morning. 547, that's your first alert traffic.
Net neutrality is back in the news, but how does it affect you when the government cracks down on Comcast, AT&T, or Verizon? Mary Maloney has today's Consumer Watch.
Though major internet service providers say the web will remain essentially unchanged after net neutrality rules are rolled back, according to Consumer Reports, there are few things consumers should keep an eye out for once deregulation goes into effect. Zero rating plans, also called sponsored data plans, allow customers to access a specific service without using data. ISPs use zero rating plans to promote a particular service, usually one they own or have a stake in. Data caps are expected to become widespread for broadband service. If customers hit their data limit, ISPs could either throttle their bandwidth or charge fees for increased data usage. Paid prioritization enables ISPs to charge access fees to content providers like Google, Facebook, and Netflix in order to send content to consumers, and the feeds could vary depending on the bandwidth required. Companies that pay more are essentially given higher priority. Paid prioritization can lead to price hikes for internet access. Content providers can raise subscription rates or monthly fees for customers in order to offset the cost of access fees. And the last major concern is blocked content. ISPs could change their terms of service to censor content deemed offensive or immoral, or they could block websites or apps that offer competing services to their own. The most effective way for consumers to protect themselves from any upcoming change is to read the fine print on their service plans. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Well, here's a combo you don't normally hear about: flowers and Legos. but it works. Flowers are not the only thing drawing people to the Green Bay Botanical Gardens this summer. Check out this new attraction there. Now, it's called Nature Connects, and look at these. It opens Friday. More than a dozen Lego creations or sculptures created by a New York artist who's famous for using Legos to design these high-profile pieces.
The exhibit features 16 sculptures throughout the garden in settings that are, we believe, really relate well to the actual sculpture, where you would maybe naturally see a dragonfly near a pond. So you see the dragonfly behind me on our pond.
These are amazing. All I ever could build was houses because the exhibit has been so popular. It's taken 3 years to finally bring it to the city of Green Bay in Wisconsin.
That is amazing. Wow.
It is very cool.
All right, 5:50 right now. Here's a live look at Washington, D.C. Down the street there at Capitol Hill, a new issue to contend with this morning. A congressman in Virginia announced he won't seek re-election due to an issue with alcohol. You'll hear more today on Good Morning America about Republican Tom Garrett of Central Virginia. Also some allegations from his staff about how he treated them. That's coming up next hour. But first, there's Washington, D.C. They'll see a high of 83 degrees. 68 in clouds there right now. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
When ABC7 declares a First Alert Weather Day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a First Alert Weather Day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A First Alert Weather Day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Get all the local information you need before you leave home in the morning. Watch Good Morning Suncoast weekdays on ABC7 to get breaking news, plus First Alert weather and traffic focused on where you live. ABC7, we're here for you.
It is 5:53, and here are some of the top stories that we've been following for you on the Suncoast.
Well, the worst of the bad weather has left the area now. Here's some time lapse for you. No reports of damage or flooding on the Suncoast. Alberto is now a subtropical depression moving through Alabama and should dissipate over the deep south.
Well, it is one of the biggest mysteries in aviation history. The search officially ends today for Malaysian Airlines Flight 270 that went missing 4 years ago.
And later on this morning, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office will release results of Operation Intercept 5. It's their latest crackdown on internet predators in Sarasota County.
And coming up in the next hour, it has been a story that we've been following for you all morning here on ABC 7. Sarasota police have one man in custody and looking for 3 others this morning after a police chase. Later on this morning, we'll also have the latest on those floods in Maryland that's left small town roads almost entirely underwater. And then happening later on today, almost 8,000 Starbucks stores are going to be closed today for a nationwide diversity training. We're going to tell you the story that's behind all of those closings in our next hour.
But first, one last peek at the forecast this hour from John Scalzi.
Thank you, Ray. We're looking at increasing rain chances today, especially as we head into the afternoon. Morning should be fine. We're looking at about a 20% chance of rainfall then, but as we head into the afternoon, about a 60% chance. Your weather highlights and headlines today include watch for rip currents. That still will be an issue along our area beaches. Check out the lifeguard flags if you're going to spend some time at the beaches. Sun cloud mix today, but then chances for thunderstorms will be good with a little daytime heating. Back to you.
All right, I spent my Memorial Day watching a tennis tournament in the area.
A day off for Ray always means some kind of tennis involved.
Yeah,
That's things I've learned.
At the Oaks and Osprey, and what do you know? Once again, more rain yesterday to delay the match.
Hey, but looking ahead, our weekends actually might be decent.
That's good news.
A few more days, folks. A few more days, folks. We've got a full hour of news that is straight ahead. You've been watching Good Morning Suncoast. It all continues right here on ABC 7.